Are you ready?
What?
I said, are you ready?
Yeah! Get stealing! Woo! Wheeling dealing! The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better.
I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning.
But brother, I am bad and they know I'm bad.
I am the man of the hour, the man with the power. Too sweet to be sour.
This is going to be a slobber knocker.
Welcome to the Grill Out. From the heart of Shillian, West Virginia, here's your host, Hollywood Jeff Petty.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Grill Out, episode 24. Yeah, it's 24. I'm your host, Hollywood Jeff Petty. Trailer Park Jeff Petty. I'm Jeff Petty. And to my left, just because he doesn't like change, Jason Lykens. Jason, we do like him, Lykens. Also Mr. Chaos.
It's just pure chaos around here.
Good Lord. Just pandemonium.
Yep.
That was Jason, and the person who is laughing is Josh Cole. Bye-bye.
Not Clint Kabowski.
Yeah, not Clint.
Bobski, whatever his name is.
Yeah, it was Clint Bobski. That Southpaw. If you've never, if you are listening to this, whether it's the podcast or on 1490, if you've never sat down and watched the entirety of Southpaw Regional Wrestling, just if you're driving, just pull off to the side of the road and just start watching it. No, don't do that. But go watch Southpaw Regional Wrestling. You won't regret it, and you can come back and thank us later. So, anyway, just to get into it, there's going to be some changes to the WrestleMania card, the main event mainly. And one of those changes is because CM Punk has officially become injured.
He's always just changing everything.
I know, he is.
Changing that culture.
I know.
He is.
Good Lord.
Somebody's changing something in here. Anywho, CM Punk has officially confirmed that he is injured. He suffered a tricep injury during the 2024 Men's Royal Rumble match. PW Insider reports Punk was spotted sporting a brace on his arm due to the triceps injury. Sources close to the situation have said that Punk has already undergone surgery to repair the triceps tear. So, Punk, this is third time in the past 2 or 3 years he's been injured.
Yeah, he broke his foot. Tore his, what was his chest? Pectoral muscle?
I was going to say, I thought it was his, no, that was Cody that tore his pec.
No.
What did he?
I think it was his tricep. I think this is the second time he's injured his tricep.
Something in that area.
Yeah, I know he has been injured 3 times now since he returned to wrestling. And that's a lot of injuries.
I think maybe he should try eating some more muffins.
Maybe he needs to do something to build up those bones.
Yeah.
Be a growing boy.
Maybe drink some milk.
Possibly, but I don't even know if milk is going to help him at this point.
No, it does the body good.
It does. I do enjoy a nice cold glass of milk, but
I like chalky milk.
Chalky milk is good. I cannot believe that there are people out there that think it actually comes from brown cows, but hey, at this point, I'm not shocked by anything.
You got to remember, people are dumb.
They are. They're very dumb. But also, CM Punk is very injury prone. It seems like. And I may have a theory to this.
All right, let's hear it.
So he was out of wrestling 7 years, 8 years, something
7,
like 7. Okay. I've
not 10 like WWE wants you to believe sometimes.
Yeah. They like to exclude 3 years that he was somewhere else, but he wasn't wrestling. He didn't wrestle for several years, and I'm not fully convinced by this theory, but I think because of that time away, he sort of like his body was not used to it. Like it grew like to where it wasn't used to taking the bumps, bouncing off the ropes, all of that. And my theory backs up from what Stone Cold has said on his podcast.
What?
Yep. That like when you are taking bumps and you're in the ring and everything, your body like gets used to that, and it builds up kind of like a callus around it, and not figuratively, not literally, but your body just gets used to that. Now that he's back in and he's been taking bumps. Now, granted, the foot injury was a complete like freak accident.
Yeah.
But that's my theory. I'm not 100% convinced on it, but it's the only thing I can really think of.
I mean, he did have the couple or so years with UFC, but that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like wrestling training.
And like speaking of like I'm glad you brought up like the MMA thing. Ken Shamrock was talking. I watched an interview with him here lately, and they were asking him like, which one's harder, pro wrestling or MMA? He said pro wrestling because you're doing it every single day.
Yeah.
You know, you're taking these bumps every day. Whereas MMA fighting or even boxing, you know, you're training a lot. You're training a lot more than you're actually competing.
Oh yeah.
You know, you may have 4 fights at the year, in 1 year at the most. Well, yeah, 4 or 5 around in there. But you're not doing it, you know, more than 100 times, more than 200 times in 1 year like you would as a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Or even 300. Or if you're Hulk Hogan, 400 in 1 year.
Yeah.
So
well, Jeff, I'll tell you, I don't think that your theory is a bad one.
Mm-hmm. It's the only thing I can really think of.
No. I mean, I know that during, you know, whenever I was in school and we were doing school wrestling, your first 2 weeks was absolute hell. Your body's beat up. It hurts. It's rough. But then after that, I mean, your body starts getting used to it, and then you're doing it daily. You're falling. You're getting taken down and all that other stuff, and your body just gets used to that pain. So I don't think you're far off that his time away, his body became less calloused.
Yeah.
He's gotten older.
Mm-hmm.
Body's not going to heal like it used to.
Yeah, and not.
I don't think you're far off.
And because I was also sitting there thinking, I was like, well, you know, there's been other people, you know, like case in point would be like Shawn Michaels that, you know, didn't wrestle for 4 or 5 years, came back, and it was like it's nothing. But that's Shawn Michaels we're talking about.
Yeah,
they're also younger too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, and I don't know. Maybe he needs to try out DDP yoga. That might help.
Maybe. I don't know.
Possibly. Anywho, people have been talking since Jordynne Grace, moving on, since Jordynne Grace made her debut sort of in WWE at the Royal Rumble, some people have been talking about, is there a working relationship between TNA and WWE? This comes from Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast and also Cultaholic.com. Despite WWE and TNA working together for the show, it doesn't appear this will lead to a larger working relationship between the two companies. After Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men Pro Wrestling Podcast reached out to WWE, the company said there, quote, wasn't anything more to add at this time, end quote, about a potential partnership with TNA. It's a possibility.
Yeah.
I could see them maybe not so much WWE talent going to TNA, but maybe TNA talent coming over to WWE more often.
I don't know. I can think of one WWE talent that I think should go to TNA.
Who would that be?
Natalya.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, yeah, that would be a good idea.
I think Natalya is a great worker.
Absolutely.
She's got zero charisma.
We talked about this. What was it, last week?
Yes.
Yeah, like she does not have any charisma, but
so maybe if she went to TNA and could change up a gimmick a little bit, because what is her gimmick? Like
she's
what
a
is
Hart, that's it.
Yeah,
like,
she's part of the Hart family. That
her dad was Jim the Anvil.
Yep. As I say,
her dad stroked his goatee. Like,
yep.
That is her gimmick.
Yep. Like
so
she likes cats.
She does like cats. But maybe if she had the fart gimmick for a while, which was terrible.
Yeah.
So maybe if she went to TNA, she could change it up a little bit.
You're not far off there because she wouldn't have the sort of handcuffs that WWE puts around you.
Yeah.
You know, because where it's a PG product, you know, you can't really have that edge, which I don't know. We'll see how the Netflix thing goes when, you know, they're not subject to the FCC at that point. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. And plus, arguably within the United States, I would say TNA probably has the better or even arguably the best women's division in the U.S., just simply because of just how they've been towards their knockouts division for the past 10 or so years. Like, they were kind of making women's wrestling cool before Stephanie McMahon invented it.
True.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't look like there's going to be a working relationship.
One thing I find kind of funny is people are like, oh, this is totally, you could tell Vince is not here because they did this partnership. It's like, well, 2 years ago, they literally did the same thing with Mickie James being the Impact World Champion at the time.
Yeah.
And that was like the last 100% Vince book show.
That is very true.
I will say also with that one, though, the women's roster wasn't great.
Yeah.
No. It's better now than it was then.
And I mean, I don't know if I'm the minority here, but I absolutely believe the women's Rumble was better than the men's.
Oh, no, absolutely it was. And judging by how everybody's reaction was last weekend, and I think we even spoke about it on this podcast, the women's Rumble was substantially better.
Yeah.
It just seemed like it flowed a lot better. It was just placed, it was booked better all around. It wasn't boring. Is the best way I can put the men's. Besides R-Truth trying to go for the hot tag.
Interesting note about the Women's Rumble, and I didn't really think about it until after the fact. Other than like Jordan Grace, there were no like Hall of Famers or no one who's on the current roster. Yeah, it was basically all current roster aside from Jordan Grace.
Yeah, you're right. I know. Yeah, because I think I predicted Michelle McCool because she did come back a couple times to do it. But yeah, and that bounces off of what Jason was just saying. They don't really need to fill the Rumble now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie McMahon.
I mean, I think there could have been one or two more people that could have been surprises.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like who?
Anyone.
True.
Anyone.
True. Yeah, because I mean the Jordan Grace entry was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Even though because I don't watch TNA that much, and I heard the sirens for her theme music, and I was like, Scott Steiner?
Yeah, I legitimately thought Scott Steiner was coming out. I was like, I'm not comfortable with where this is going, WWE.
Like, yeah, we can't have Freakzilla coming out. Yeah, no, we cannot do that. But yes, I think that the women's Rumble was arguably amongst the card, which then again it wasn't. I'm not trying to downplay it, but it wasn't that strong of a card to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, you only have 4 matches. 2 of them were very predictable. It still was the match of the night, hands down, compared to the other ones. Also, it's kind of strange that there wasn't no pre-show matches.
Well, go for it, Josh.
I was going to say, they've almost completely phased out pre-show matches. Like, every once in a while they'll pull them out, but they usually don't do them anymore.
Okay.
So let me ask you all this. Do you think that with WWE 2K24, there's going to be a large enough women's roster to do a Rumble on there?
There should be.
Yeah. I would say I haven't really played a 2K game in a few years, so I don't know how many's been on the games.
I have not either, but judging how they, in the past, how they've determined the roster, looked at the previous year and all of that, I could see them doing that. Plus, if they add some legends in there as well, it's a possibility. And I'm glad that you did mention 2K, because we are going to segue into some of the new features for 2K24, because everybody, well, not everybody, but most people like video games. So,
YouTube channel. What?
Yes, he does have a YouTube channel. You can go ahead and plug it if you want.
Maestro_musical, MUSICOLE.
There you go. Go subscribe to him.
Mostly Destiny 2, but I stream games too. Been streaming Star Wars Jedi Survivor recently.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I do.
No, I mean, like, not even faking for the show. I legitimately did not know that.
He's not working us.
No, why don't you tell us these things?
I don't know. I've told him before. You weren't here, though. It was one of the episodes you missed.
Like, what? The first episode? Was it right after?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't here
at
the beginning.
Here we are 24 episodes later.
I've been here for like 8 of them.
You've been pretty consistent here lately.
Yeah, later. No, I won't be later on, but I'll be.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's all right. It happens. Okay, so some of the new features for the WWE 2K24 game. There is a spectator mode, and it allows for free roaming camera during AI versus AI matches. So I guess you could just kind of spin around the entire arena while watching the match or whatever. Just kind of, look at this
cool
fan.
Cameras.
Yeah, just get some cool camera angles. There are a few different camera angles that they are adding to this. I think some of them are in the Rumble. Like, I guess instead of having like the hard cam to the side, you can kind of have the hard cam facing the stage. So there's that. There's also so we've all seen this spot in matches where 2 wrestlers are trading blows back and forth, and the crowd goes, yay, boo, yay, boo. That is being turned into a timing mini-game within 2K24. You cannot go backstage during an ambulance match. They are having ambulance matches. And there is an ambulance backstage that apparently cannot be used. According to Xavier Woods, who I think he had input on the game from what I've been reading. So he says that, nobody's tried it, but he doesn't think it can be used. So I'm going to kind of take his word for it. Casket matches are back. They have ambulance matches, like I just said, gauntlet matches, tired finishers. So, say you're sitting there playing the game and, you got Triple H or The Undertaker. Undertaker does, Tombstone. He's tired, the whatever the meter is that you have. He goes ahead, instead of like doing a strong pin on somebody, just kind of throws his arm over the opponent. The 2K Showcase is 40 years of WrestleMania.
I feel like that should have been in next year's game, but
but we had this whole debacle with WrestleMania 25, it being the 25th anniversary when technically it's the 24th anniversary.
I mean, technically this is coming out the 40th year of WrestleMania, but WrestleMania 40 will not have happened yet when this comes out.
Yeah. Also, AI Stone Cold is terrifying. Yeah, and if have y'all watched the preview to the game
yes.
this? AI Stone Cold looks terrifying.
He does.
Same for Hulk Hogan. That one.
Well, that's not AI, brother.
He was there.
Yeah, that's Hogan, brother.
He made the game.
Yeah, he's the one that developed the whole thing. Which I will say this: I know we dog on Hulk Hogan a lot on the show.
He deserves it.
He does,
yeah.
But he did save somebody's life here recently.
I was going to say, it wasn't the guy on Wembley, was it?
No. It wasn't that. Somebody had a car accident and flipped their vehicle and stuff. And
he flipped it up. He flipped the car back over.
If you ask him, he'll probably say that. But apparently he helped that person get out of the vehicle and everything and get back to safety. I don't know how I would feel. I just flipped my car and I just hear, "Take my hand, brother." And he was wearing an NWO shirt as well. Which makes it even better.
I would wait for him to turn on me then. He's in the NWO shirt. And I'm like, "Yeah, Hulk, I'm going to take your hand, brother." And then I get up and he just punches me and then spray paints me. There was released footage of the accident. I don't know if you all had seen it.
No.
So the car had flipped over. And you see Hogan coming from the side and he's playing air guitar. And then as the car is flipped over, he goes and he bounces off of a mailbox and leg drops the car. And the car flips over 5 times. And Hogan gets up and he's posing. He's doing the hand to the ear. He's telling the bystanders who are saying and screaming, "Oh my God, save this man's life." He's telling them to shut up.
So he's went full Hollywood.
He did. And he pulled out a can of spray paint. And as this car is sitting there, he spray paints NWO on it. Okay? And then they tell him, I guess one of the bystanders realized what was going on, and they said, "Terry, the cameras are off. We're at commercial." And so he opens up the door, and he grabs the guy, and he pulls him out. And then he tells him, "Listen, brother, if anyone says anything, I leg dropped you during the break, brother. So you just lie on the ground, and we'll get you through this."
God.
Yeah, that's allegedly, that is what happened.
Allegedly. Okay. That's not even in my show notes. That just popped in my head.
No.
Just NWO Hulk Hogan.
He really should have been there for Nick's car crash to help out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think so. Anywho.
Yeah, brother.
You know who wasn't there to steal the spotlight? The Rock.
The Rock. So, Cody Rhodes is not challenging Roman Reigns.
I think that's all we need to talk about with that story. It's not a big story.
No, not at all. Not at all. Cody's not finishing his story. No. We said that at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, one of my predictions for 2024 is Roman is not losing the title until at least, SummerSlam, I think I said?
Yeah, I think you did say that. We got it wrote down somewhere.
I'm sorry for making this come true.
He put that out into the universe, and now it's coming back. You heard it here first on this podcast. So, Cody is not challenging Roman Reigns. This is coming from Cultaholic.com. On SmackDown, Rhodes confronted Reigns and told him he still wants to take the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, and everyone else that wasn't in there, but I added it, and everything else away from him, but not at WrestleMania. He revealed that he'd be talking to outside counsel over the week to advise him, And this brought out The Rock, who returned for the first time since his surprise appearance on Raw last month. And it hasn't been made official, but it looks like The Rock is going to challenge Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yeah, they're doing like a Las Vegas press conference
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah. And even on the shot, like when Rock and Roman are facing each other, you see the WrestleMania logo in the background. Like it's happening.
Well, yeah, it's going to happen.
Now, if I don't see Roman losing, I just don't. But if Roman loses and the belt goes to The Rock, then The Rock is we're dealing with a streak situation like with Brock Lesnar. Like you've built up this giant, wonderful story, like one of the greatest title reigns, in our lifetime, a once in a lifetime title reign, and you're going to drop it, like you're going to give the rub to the guy who doesn't need it and who's probably not going to be here week in and week out.
What if it's not for the title?
None.
It would be better that way, but at the same time, that would be bad for WrestleMania and the title itself not being defended at WrestleMania.
Yeah, like I think right now, in a way, this is just my opinion. I feel like the way Cody went about that of saying, I want to take your belt, but not at WrestleMania. Everybody wants to take the title off the champ at WrestleMania. You kind of looked like a chump right there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And even in the picture of him, like when Rock came out, they did their little hug and everything, Cody just looked so defeated in his face.
Well, even the one before that where it's like the back shot of Rock's head and Cody standing there, you could tell he just looks defeated.
Oh, yeah. And people have been online. They've been spamming the WWE Twitter account, and also it's been trending of "We Want Cody."
Well, like the video is like the most disliked video ever on their YouTube channel.
Yeah, I was trying to get like a final tally on that. I don't know how to pull that up on YouTube. I'm a terrible millennial.
So what do you think about the possibility of them just getting this even more groundswell support for Cody, and leading up to it, it becomes a triple threat?
I'd be okay with that. Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 30 style.
Yeah.
That could actually happen now. I think about it, because look back at the last 10s of the WrestleManias. WrestleMania 10, I believe, was a triple threat. 30 was a triple threat. Or not 30, 20 was triple, and 30 was triple threat. I'm not sure if 10 was triple threat or not, but the last two 10s ones were triple threats.
20 was a triple threat. Michaels, Triple H, name redacted.
And both of them were those kind of underdog stories, too.
Yeah. But would you? Well, I guess you could count Cody Rhodes as like an underdog in this situation.
I mean, when you're comparing it to The Rock and Roman Reigns.
Yeah. And now that I said it out loud.
But I mean, you have. Let's take a look at 30. You had the Hollywood elite guy come in, take the main event spot
and then you got the other guy who has two belts.
Yeah.
And then there's the guy who everybody wants in the main event, but can't.
Who gets pushed out.
Yes, who gets pushed out. And then there's this great, you know what? That could happen. We'll see. You heard, again, that's another one. You heard it here first on this podcast.
Also, as of right now, there are 17 confirmed women for 2K24.
17, okay.
17.
Okay. Maybe they need to add 13 more.
You know who they won't find in the Women's Rumble?
Who? Santina?
I mean, probably not.
Yeah, no.
Sonny?
Probably not as well. I was going to say Gunther.
Oh, yeah, Gunther.
Gunther.
I'm just real quick, we're going to say this, and then, we're going to close this segment out. We're going to have another Mount Rushmore segment coming up next. But tomorrow, or if you're listening to this on 1490 today, marks 600 days as Intercontinental Champion for Gunther.
Yeah.
What is it?
Past the 600. He's already passed it.
Oh, he's already passed it?
Pretty sure.
No. It would be Monday, because there's an article on WWE.com that's dated for the 2nd, so Friday, and they're talking about Monday being the 600th day. If not, WWE.com has it wrong.
Yeah, because he's at 602 right now.
Oh, okay. Well,
Mike
WWE.
Chioda. You won't find Mike Chioda in the Women's Rumble.
Okay.
Or Pete Rose.
No, you won't find
You
Pete
won't
Rose.
find Pete Rose.
Or Drew Carey.
You won't find Drew Carey.
Nope.
You won't find Mike O'Malley of 1990s Guts fame on there.
All right. We're going to close out the first segment here.
Muhammad Ali.
Up next, we have Mount Rushmore.
Tony Schiavone.
Stay tuned.
Sting.
It's time for more of the Grill Out. Here's Hollywood Jeff Petty.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Abraham Lincoln. That's all the people I can think of that wouldn't be in the Women's Rumble.
And just so everybody knows, he did that through the entire break.
He did.
Yes. That's Jason Lykens.
Yep.
In case you don't know.
Sure is.
It got hardcore during that break.
Yeah, it did. He just kept going. And then also we have Josh Cole, who just spoke. And then I'm your host, Jeff Petty.
Yeah.
So we have a segment. We do it every once in a while. It's called Mount Rushmore. And basically,
We've done it one time. That's not every once in a while. We've done. This will be the second time.
Yes, it's the second time, but we don't do stuff. This middle segment is a revolving door of different ideas. That's what I'm getting at. And I don't know why I'm making this motion.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even though
no one can see that.
No, nobody can see this, but I'm still making the motion.
You are.
Making
Yes.
motion of revolving doors.
Yes. But it's a segment that we do where we have these categories. We've already picked the category, and we were doing that off during the break while Jason was naming off everybody who's not going to be in the Women's Royal Rumble. Josh and I went ahead and picked the category. Well, we did it by random, but we picked 4 people, and that's who we think are the Mount Rushmore for this particular category in wrestling. And that category for this segment is hardcore wrestlers. So I will start, and my first one, you got to throw Mick Foley in there. I don't think you can have hardcore wrestling. Like, you can't think of hardcore wrestling without Mick Foley being somewhere in your head, bouncing around. Also, apparently, he wants to have one final match. It's just a side note, and he wants it to be a death match for his 60th birthday. Don't know. If that happens, we will let everybody know. Yep, that's a legitimate thing that's going on. So, yeah.
Okay.
My first one's Mick Foley.
Josh?
I'm just going to throw this out there because he's been on my mind. Spike Dudley. How's he not dead?
I mean, Spike Dudley could take a bump better than a lot of people.
He could take a beating.
Do you want to elaborate any more on that?
Not much.
Okay.
Just the fact that he's still walking perfectly fine after everything he's done.
Yeah, and it was through the Attitude Era, like hardcore stuff, when they were just swinging for the fences on certain things.
Well, it's funny with Spike Dudley. Whenever Undertaker chokeslammed him to the outside, and he took the flat back bump, Undertaker did not want to do that spot. But Spike kept telling him, "It's like, no, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine."
It's when Undertaker's like, we shouldn't do that bump.
Well, he also didn't want to throw Mick Foley off the top of the cage.
Well, and you know what? We've already named Mick Foley in this. So, all right, I got Mick Foley. Josh started with Spike Dudley.
Okay, I'm going to have to go with one of the first hardcore wrestlers I ever saw. And that's middle-aged and crazy himself, Terry Funk.
You've got, I know. Okay, so we are well aware that Terry Funk had a career outside of hardcore wrestling.
Yes.
He had a fantastic career outside of hardcore wrestling, and he can go in the ring. But Terry Funk and hardcore wrestling goes together like peas and carrots.
It does.
It really does.
I mean, and you can't have Mick Foley without Terry Funk, and you can't have Terry Funk without Dory Funk and Ric Flair and Harley Race. And on the list is also Mick Foley.
Yes.
But so Terry Funk is my first pick.
Okay. All right. My second will be Bruiser Brody. Brody, if you go back and watch his matches with Abdullah the Butcher, Carlos Colon, I mean, they're bloody. They are as bloody as they get. It is hardcore wrestling to its finest. I've seen the man rip there's one match, I can't remember who he was going against, but he basically ripped an entire leg off of a table and just used it as a weapon. So, yeah, my number 2 is Bruiser Brody.
I think my number 2 will be Tommy Dreamer.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, like, basically Mr. ECW. He's still going in TNA.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what to say.
He's their digital their digital champion or whatever.
I think he was recently. Okay. We recently lost it though.
Yeah, he also because TNA does that IPWF, like they do a whole episode where it's like old school wrestling, like territory type stuff. Yeah. And Tommy Dreamer is the rookie. So, yeah, no, but that's a really good pick. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, my second pick. I'm going old school. So if you looked at magazines in the 60s and 70s, you'd see that this man was a crowd favorite. He had legendary rivalries with Bobo Brazil and Classy Freddie Blassie.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Okay, where do you think I'm going?
Are you going like the original Sheik?
I am.
I knew it.
The uncle of Sabu, the Sheik.
That's an. I was honestly.
The man threw fireballs.
He did. He did.
He was a wizard.
Josh just headbutted the mic.
I think Josh is trying to get on my top 4 now. He's going hardcore headbutting the mic.
He's going to draw a collar with that one. Get that crimson mask going.
No, so the Sheik.
That is okay. Okay, that is a really, really good one. There's a lot of good choices right now. Okay. My number 3. I'll Abdullah the Butcher. I mean, it's in the name.
Yeah.
I mean, he's, if you go back just with the Sheik, with Brody, with Carlos Colon, you go back and watch some of those old matches with them. I mean, his favorite weapon was a fork.
Yeah.
I mean, that says it all right there. No, I mean, it's in the name. He did, he had like his weapon of choice was a fork. And also he had done so many hardcore matches throughout the years. He could put a poker chip in his forehead.
Yeah, his head was nasty.
Yeah, and if you're eating something while listening to this, I apologize, but yeah, it was bad.
I mean, what's great though is what I like about your first 2 picks is they were a tag team and a rivalry in WCW.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is very true. What Mick Foley and Bruiser Brody was?
I'm sorry, Mick Foley and Abdullah the Butcher.
Oh, okay, my first and third pick.
Yeah, I had forgotten that we had done 2 picks already.
Yeah, no, yeah,
I'm tired.
I completely understand. That's why I have coffee right now.
Yeah,
that's why I'm sipping on it. It is kind of hot. But yeah, my third pick, Abdullah the Butcher.
I'm going with someone that's already been said, the Funkadactyl himself, Terry Funk.
It's not a bad pick. It's really not. I mean, what was it? It was FMW, Onita. He specifically wanted, I think the way the story went, he specifically wanted Terry Funk to come over there because it was a startup promotion at the time. They did become, well known for their death matches and their exploding barbed wire death matches and all of that. Yeah. But like Terry Funk was over there with like a branding iron, like chasing after people. Terry Funk was a madman.
Yeah,
like he could go in the ring, like go back and watch his matches with Flair. They were, I mean, classics.
Yeah,
but he could also do the hardcore stuff.
Nothing about the Funkadactyl.
Yeah. Did you just make a Tyrus?
I said it before. I said Terry.
I know. I heard it. I ignored it. I tried to ignore anything Tyrus related.
That's true. That is.
But yeah, going back to what Jason says, you got to go with Terry. Just although he had that wrestling career outside of hardcore, he's kind of the embodiment of hardcore in a way.
Yeah, and also like if you think about it, so it wasn't just FMW that wanted him there to kind of help with them. ECW, same thing. Yeah. They wanted him to come in, to help them get their stuff going. And ECW, if you know just a little bit about wrestling, Extreme Championship Wrestling and the crazy stuff that they were doing in Philadelphia.
Yeah. When you also can't forget about the Hollywood roles that Terry Funk had as well.
True.
He was in movies. He was in TV shows.
Was he in Roadhouse?
He was in Roadhouse.
Yeah, that's right.
He was also in The Ringer.
Oh, yeah.
Playing pretty much the same character.
Yeah.
He was in an episode of Quantum Leap where he pretty much plays Terry Funk the wrestler. Because that episode deals with tag team wrestling.
Okay.
But, yeah, and then there was a Stranger Than Fiction or something like Fact or Fiction or something like that. So,
do you got his IMDb pulled up over there?
No, it's just a lot of the stuff I've watched ended up having Terry Funk in it.
Oh, well, fair enough.
What I have pulled up is my next pick.
Okay.
It's just really weird watching something and being like, is that Terry Funk? That's Terry Funk. Yeah, that's Terry Funk.
It was like watching John Wick. It's like, oh, hey, there's Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
What? Kevin Nash is in John Wick?
He is, yeah.
Well, he's also in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I know about that one.
Yeah, he's Super Shredder.
Yeah. And that was the live action one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I knew about that one. I didn't know about John Wick.
Yeah.
Oh, he was also in The Punisher.
Well, he's also apparently in Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never watched Magic Mike, so I couldn't tell you. He was also in The Longest Yard. He was hilarious in the longest yard.
I mean, there was a lot of wrestlers.
Oh God,
even the Great Khali.
Yeah.
So,
Bob Sapp.
Yeah.
Goldberg. Okay.
I love little Michael. So,
real quick, they had not only a bunch of wrestlers, they had a bunch of for old retired NFL players as well. So
yeah. It was a good cast.
It was very good cast.
And Stone Cold's hilarious in it. Kevin Nash is hilarious.
Oh, I love his role in it.
Yeah.
If there's the one guy, the guy that's screaming "can of corn," that's a comedian by the name of Joey Diaz, and let's just say I cannot say them on the air, but he has some stories about that cast and what they were doing off the camera. Anyway,
Diet Coke and a cheeseburger,
can of corn.
So I'm trying really hard to not go with other people's picks because there's a lot of people who should be on this.
This is kind of hard to narrow it down to 4.
I want to put Mick Foley on it. Mick Foley deserves to be on mine, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
That's kind of why I went with Spike Dudley because he was not on any list that I looked up, so I threw him out there.
If you're going to go with hardcore wrestling, with deathmatch wrestling, I'm going to have to go with from the 2000s indie scene, Necro Butcher.
Oh.
Yeah. Who also had a stint in Ring of Honor with not hardcore death matches against Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
Maybe someone you all have heard of.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. He was also in The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. The staple scene with the staple gun, that's Necro Butcher.
Oh. Huh. I had no idea.
Yeah. He loves staple guns.
Okay.
Yep.
Go back and watch that tonight. I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah.
The Wrestler is a good film.
It is.
Yep.
It's really good.
Apparently, it made Roddy Piper cry. Just because of the realism within it. No, Necro Butcher. Man, there's a lot of good choices on this one right now. Okay. Okay. My final one. We've already mentioned his uncle. I'm gonna go with Sabu.
Yeah.
He's also going to be at ASW's Bash in Beckley for June 1st.
I mean, the homicidal,
genocidal, suicidal, death-defying,
human highlight
random
reel.
appearance on AEW, which made no sense, but hey.
He went out there and did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say this: the reboot of ECW, the WWE ECW, was not good. Like the first episode, they brought a zombie out. Yeah. I remember watching it. I was like, really?
Yeah, that killed it.
I just loved it that the Sandman just kind of went to town on him at that point. But that was like when I got rebooted, I was I think 11. I was looking so forward to seeing like Sabu and them. And Sabu was probably out of all of them, he was probably the one that was like interesting me the most. Mm-hmm. Because just like what Jason and I said, that genocidal, suicidal, homicidal, death-defying, it's Sabu.
Yeah.
Sabu is awesome. Also, he had a really good theme song. So, Josh, who is your final pick?
He's already been said, but you got to go with Cactus Jack, Mick Foley.
Okay.
And I'm not even thinking so much about what he did, like say in WWF or whatever, or ECW. I'm thinking back to home videos of him jumping off a roof.
Oh, well, when
some backyard wrestling.
Dude love.
Yeah, well, he did win the Tournament of Death in Japan.
Yeah.
And apparently, like, according to him, he was so banged up from the matches that you could smell the iron in his blood. That's how badly, And I guess also when he got on the plane, because he had been burned, you could still smell the burningness on him while he was on the plane. I don't know what I would do if I'm sitting on a plane and Mick Foley comes in there and he just looks like he's just been hit by a train. And he just got that big crooked smile on his face like, hey, how you doing? Yeah. This man's a crazy person. I mean, also, you got to be a crazy person to be like, I want to do a death match when I'm 60.
It was also like super, super cheap. Which maybe plays into the hardcore in a way. Like,
yeah.
Like he would basically just wring out his clothes, put him back on for the next day.
Yeah.
Apparently, like, I guess it was him and Owen Hart had a contest about who could spend the least amount of money, and it got down to the penny. Like, who could spend the least amount of money on the road, and it got down to the pennies. and this was on like WWE Untold Stories or something. Triple H was talking about coming down to the lobby, and Foley looks like a homeless person sleeping on the couch with newspapers like for a blanket. It just also he would go to the concession stand and get like all the popcorn that was left over, and that's what he would eat until the next day.
Speaking of his hardcore, he lost an ear.
He did. Yep, he was doing a hangman
match against Vader.
Yeah, it was a match against
through his nose.
It was in Germany, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All things happen in Germany. There was also the time that this involves Stone Cold, like the fan storms the ring and Triple H like jumps on him and Mike Chioda's over there like kicking him and stuff, and Austin's like, "What's going on?" Anywho, Jason.
Okay, so full transparency, my pick was going to be Sabu.
I am sorry.
It's okay.
I hit the mic. I'm also sorry for that.
Yeah, that's also okay. So I have a few names running through. One of them, I don't know if you all remember 2000's WCW.
There's only like 2 years of it, if you count 2 years.
Well,
Barely.
but one of the best things about that time with the Hardcore Championship was this man named Norman Smiley. Screaming Norman Smiley. I'm not picking him.
Norman Smiley was pretty, like, he was kind of the saving grace with all of that.
He was absolutely hilarious. Like, he would just be, like, shrieking the whole time, and not, like, anger screaming, but, like, terrified. Like, one time he came out in a full football outfit with shoulder pads and a helmet for his hardcore match. It was great.
Whatever happened to that guy?
He did go to the Performance Center and like work there for a little bit. I'm not sure if he still is.
I was going to say, I thought he was still there.
Yeah, because he was a great technical wrestler. He just didn't really have much of a gimmick except for the big wiggle.
Yeah.
Which was a dance move.
Yeah, well, and according to everybody that has went through NXT and trained under Norman Smiley, they've given him nothing but praises. Apparently, he's a very good coach. So, anyway.
So I feel kind of copping out on doing this, but I think this guy did more for American hardcore wrestling than anyone, and that's Paul Heyman.
Ooh, interesting. That's not the direction I thought you were about to go in.
Well, it's like part of me wants to go New Jack, but
got to be careful with that one.
Yeah. And while Paul Heyman wasn't a hardcore wrestler, he did a lot for hardcore wrestling and giving it kind of a mainstream platform in America. So I think I'm going to have to go with Paul Heyman.
That's okay. You know what? That is not where I thought you were going.
I mean, without him, there's no ECW, basically.
Yeah, that's very.
There's no bounce checks. There's no Stone Cold.
No, there's no Stone Cold. Because I will say this and I know I keep mentioning him, but that's because I'm a huge mark for Stone Cold. I will say that the promos he did in ECW arguably are better than the ones he did in WWE.
Yes.
Like it was just more raw.
Him as the huckster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and the Bischoff segment, like he's sitting there, Monday Night Quill, and all of that. Like, we're going to put you to sleep before you even get a chance. And
his Dusty impression was really good too.
Oh yeah. But that's not, baby. That's not for you.
That's not for you, baby.
That's for somebody else.
That's not in the book, baby.
We're just gonna keep you right where you at right now. And they kept the biggest potential. Yeah, you can tell I've listened to that one particular promo quite often.
Oh, it was great. And I mean, Steve Austin's matches against Mikey Whipwreck.
Yes. Like,
I mean, and Austin did Whipwreck a huge favor with those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just that, like even when like just going with somebody else like Brian Pillman.
Yeah.
Like he was in the middle of that stuff with with the bidding war between WCW and WWF at the time. He was able to go to ECW and sort of do his little thing down there. Yeah. He didn't wrestle because he had the accident and everything. Yeah. But he did cut some awesome promos down there.
Yeah.
So that is our Mount Rushmore of hardcore wrestlers. I will say one name that I'm shocked that did not get brought up.
Okay.
The Sandman.
I'll be honest with you. I was never really blown away by the Sandman.
Yeah.
True.
The only thing I think of is him just bashing beers into his head and kendo stick. Other than that,
Also,
much of 'em.
we also had a pretty sweet intro, like theme song. It was Inner Sandman.
Yeah, but
I'm a Metallica fan.
but his entrance took way too long.
That's true.
Like, the Undertaker's is long. Okay, and the Undertaker
He's
even
still doing
said,
it now. He's still doing his entrance, like as we speak.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, the Undertaker even mentioned, he was like, if I knew the match wasn't going to be good, I would make my entrance even longer, so people got their money's worth with me.
Fair enough.
So,
Fair.
So Jeff, you want to run through your 4 one more time?
Okay. My 4 is Mick Foley, Bruiser Brody, Abdullah the Butcher, and who was my last one? Sabu. Yeah, Sabu. Took me a second there.
I had Spike Dudley, Tommy Dreamer, Terry Funk, and McFoley.
Okay, I had Terry Funk, the Sheik,
OG Sheik.
OG Sheik, yeah.
Yep.
The Sheik, Paul Heyman, and
He's drawing a blank.
yeah, I don't remember.
I'm also very tired myself. I can't remember who
You
you
were going to say Sabu, but you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't say Sabu.
Well, Sabu was going to be my 4th one.
Yeah.
So we had Terry Funk, OG Sheik, Paul Heyman, and
it was Paul Heyman.
No, it wasn't Paul Heyman.
Paul
That was
Heyman
fourth-
was the last
That
one.
was his 4th one.
Oh, I thought, okay.
Who was my 3rd one?
I have no idea.
Why didn't I write them down?
We probably should have.
Yeah, it's not important.
It's okay. You can go back and listen to it. Just
Sorry,
rewind it.
whoever was my 3rd pick.
Yep, it's okay. Anyway, that's going to do it for this segment. When we come back, we will have On This Day in Wrestling History and the main event. Stay tuned.
Once again, here's Hollywood Jeff Petty.
Welcome back,
Necro
ladies.
Butcher.
I was going to
Necro Butcher.
I was going to tee it up for you.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to save time.
Yeah,
Necro Butcher.
It's okay.
Sorry,
Welcome,
Necro Butcher.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Grill Out. I'm your host, Hollywood Jeff Petty, joined by Jason Lykens. Necro Butcher was his 3rd pick.
Yes, Necro Butcher.
Yep. It was Terry Funk,
Got to get him over.
OG Sheik,
Necro Butcher.
Necro Butcher,
Paul Heyman.
and Paul Heyman. Yeah, that was his 4 on Mount Rushmore. It took us a second there. We had to, at the break, we had to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Anyway, on this day in wrestling history. And we're back. I do like the intro to this segment. The little bell, and then on this day. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Bite me. February 4th, 1977. Chavo Guerrero Sr.
Yeah. I was going to see if you did it or not.
Chavo Guerrero Sr., not Jr., defeated Dory Funk Jr. to win the NWA America's Heavyweight title in Los Angeles, California. A few states away, Ted Oates defeated Bob Sergeant Slaughter in St. Joseph, Missouri to win the NWA Central States Heavyweight title.
Wait, did he just go by Bob?
I guess he went by Bob Slaughter at that
Okay,
time.
Bob Slaughter. Okay.
Yeah.
How great would it be if he was just Bob?
Yeah.
And in the blue corner, Bob.
Well, you know, you make it in the 70s sound like the 40s.
You say in the blue corner, Bob.
We can't see that it's blue because all this is in black and white.
One day we'll have the color pictures up on the show. Man, we'll get the talkies playing.
And honestly, the hardcore segment that we
Man.
just did ties very well into this next one.
Yeah.
February 4th, 1995, ECW Double Tables was held in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. On the show, Cactus Jack defeated the Sandman in a Texas death match. The main event saw Sabu and the Tasmaniac, Taz, beat the Public Enemy, Johnny Grunge, and Rocco Rock in a Double Tables match to become the new ECW Tag Team Champions. That was not planned out to have that in the On This Day in Wrestling segment.
Man.
What exactly is a double tables match?
I guess like they have you like
I would imagine both had to go through the tables.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like one goes through the table and then the other one has to go through the
Kind of
tables.
almost like an elimination style in a way.
Yeah, except with tables.
Yeah.
And we're in Philly. And it's ECW in the mid-90s.
That's where WrestleMania's going to be.
Yes.
Yep.
WrestleMania 40 is going to be in Philadelphia.
Yeah. I'm sure they're not playing the same arena, though.
Yeah.
Is the ECW arena still standing?
What, the Hammerstein Ballroom?
No, that's in New York.
Oh, okay.
The ECW arena, like I think it's like 29 Pennsylvania. No, that's the White House. I can't.
29. That's not the White House.
I was going to say 2900.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's the address for the White House. My bad. I don't think Joe Biden's in there having ECW shows. I mean, well, at the time it would be Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
And they're just booking ECW matches.
I want tables. Give me tables.
Just to have a more modern flavor.
Is still there.
Oh, it's still standing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In 2019,
Yeah.
WWE Raw is in Portland, Oregon. And the show started with Becky Lynch getting suspended by Stephanie McMahon. Lynch reacted to this by attacking McMahon. The reason for the suspension was that Lynch had been injured at the Royal Rumble, but refused medical assessment because she didn't want to be medically cleared for WrestleMania. She didn't want to not be medically cleared. Who wrote this?
I pulled it straight off of a website.
Jeez.
Sometimes the grammar is not the best. But, hey, all of these check out. So
yeah, she refused medical assessment because she wanted to be able to perform at WrestleMania.
That's a lot.
She didn't
of
want the
words.
doctors to say she's not making it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. McMahon said until she got checked out, she'd be suspended. So Lynch went for the disarmor. Also on the show, Ronda Rousey beat Liv Morgan, then Sarah Logan in quick succession. And that was on February 4th, 2019.
2019.
I don't know why you went into that voice. I just kind of let you go.
I don't know, man. It just happened. I just wanted to do a segment on it really quick, because I always just sit here and watch you have all the fun, and I was like, hey, I'll just take this one.
No, you just go for it. Get up in the batter's cage. Just swing.
All right. In 1977, Chavo Guerrero Sr.
Just going to redo the entire segment.
Chavo Classic.
Chavo.
He was.
He technically was.
Well, that was a shirt that he had whenever he came back, and he was working with Chavo Jr.
Oh.
He had like the Coke Classic shirt, but it said Chavo Classic.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no, Josh isn't that clever.
Wow.
You know who told me that?
Who?
Sting.
I'm surprised we made it this far into the episode, Josh.
Yeah.
Before Sting was brought up about how he doesn't like you.
No, I'm shocked that Josh didn't put Sting on his Mount
Well, I
Rushmore.
guess you won't be my Bloody Valentine.
That's true. Speaking of Bloody Valentine, this is the main event segment where we go ahead and give you an update on what the week of wrestling is looking like. Just like
this week of wrestling.
we need to contact Alter Bridge and see if they'll do a thing for that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's in the budget.
Yeah, it is. Maybe. As far as television and professional wrestling, it is all the same this week. Monday Night Raw,
Well,
Tuesday.
technically, tonight, the day of we're recording, Vengeance Day is on
Oh,
NXT.
oh, okay. So yeah, Vengeance.
God, no one likes you, Josh.
completely. I just completely boom went out of my head. Yeah, Vengeance Day is tonight.
Yeah.
For NXT.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Shows you how much I pay attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, Monday will be Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Real quick, unless you are listening to this on Monday, then it was yesterday.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
And if you're listening to this on Tuesday,
it was 2 days ago.
yeah, and Wednesday,
3 days ago.
Thursday,
4 days ago.
Friday,
5 days ago.
Saturday,
6 days ago.
Sunday,
We got a new episode.
yes.
I go back and listen
See,
to all of them.
I'm glad you all could join us for this episode of Sesame Street. We learned numbers and days of the week.
But speaking of Saturday, ASW My Bloody Valentine will be taking place at 384 Yuma Road, Wilkinson, Logan County, West Virginia, 25601. The meet and greet will be at 5 o'clock, and bell time is at 7.
On Saturday, February 10th. ASW My Bloody Valentine.
And then also on Sunday, February 11th, New Japan will have their new beginning in Osaka.
In Osaka.
Yes.
Mr. Sting is challenging for the AEW tag titles in Dynamite.
On this week?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also, Swerve Strickland and Hangman has a number one contenders
Yeah,
match.
yeah.
Oh.
So,
Well, and who did Swerve Strickland go against recently?
RVD?
Yes, he did. The whole show.
Yep. I was
Rob Van Dam.
RVD. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. If you would like to contact us, we have a Facebook page.
Join
link-
us on Facebook.
The link to that is in the description
In
this.
the description.
You can email us.
You can email us.
thegrillout95@gmail.com.
What he said.
He's
on
like
YouTube, too.
Yeah, we're on YouTube.
We are?
Yeah.
Why doesn't anyone tell me this stuff?
I thought we did.
Where are we?
WCHS one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Anywho, that's going to do it for us.
Also on YouTube.
That's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time.
Until next time.
Fellow wrestling fans.
Fellow wrestling fans.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
What?
Goodbye, and good night, bang!